Well, what's up again there, guys? Brian here at 3TR, and welcome to another weekly episode of my weekly Q&A show, Top People's Questions, episode 242. We got a pretty straightforward episode this time around, so let's jump right into it with the first set of questions coming from Comic Book Fan 92, and you want to know, what are my thoughts on Dragon Ball Super? Heck, I'm personally loving it so far. I'm not one of these hardcore Dragon Ball Z fans that can't stand the idea of watching it with subtitles. I mean, that's how I watched so many really great animes. I can wait for the English dub, sometime I think late next year. So, yeah, I'm enjoying this season. They've really done a lot with Vegeta lately. I like what they've done with him. And we might even be coming back to bringing back a certain fusion-based character very soon. So I hope that comes true. In all honesty, yeah, I'm loving it so far. Next question comes from Hyuga Blood 881, and you want to know, do I think Anakin Skywalker would have turned out any different as a Jedi if he had been trained by a different Jedi Master like Qui-Gon Jinn or Plo Koon? Alright, one, scratch Plo Koon. Plo Koon wouldn't have gone anywhere near Anakin. I think if he had been trained by Qui-Gon Jinn, I think he would have turned out very, very differently. I think the difference between someone like Qui-Gon training Anakin and someone Obi-Wan did is that Obi-Wan was kind of given Anakin, like, the second he became a Jedi Knight, so he wasn't really keen on how to train an apprentice. I mean, he might have just finished his training, but he was still relatively fresh at this. Qui-Gon being a proven Jedi Master, he had already had a series of apprentices, so he knew how to train someone. He knew how to work with their flaws into how to make them stand outside of the crowd, which is exactly the type of Jedi that Anakin would eventually become. I think the fact that Qui-Gon knows about his mother, he would have been able to, kind of teach him how to control his emotions better. The difference between, in terms of relationship, is that, to me, Obi-Wan and Anakin had more of a brother relationship, as opposed to, I think Anakin and Qui-Gon would have had like a father-son relationship, just as Qui-Gon had with Obi-Wan. It's kind of the whole essence of, like, if your bigger brother is trying to raise you, you don't really feel a need to always listen to him all the time, and at times you feel like you need to compete with him. You don't tend to do that with your parents, so I think that if Qui-Gon Jinn had trained Anakin, he would have turned out very, very differently. Next question comes from Sensko Scarpino, and you want to know, despite my thoughts on the game, do I understand why almost everybody likes Metal Gear Solid 5? No, I don't believe that mostly everybody likes Metal Gear Solid 5. Not from what I've heard. From a good number of sources, there are a lot of people that don't like it for the same reasons I don't. But I'll tell you this, the only thing I can give it credit for is that it looks pretty. But heck, you can take a pile of shit and carved into a beautiful swan, it's still shit that's carved to look like a swan. So, yeah, I don't give a damn about visuals at this point. Next question comes from Matt Cruz. You want to know, what games have I played that I thought were going to be horrible but ended up being good? The one game that does come to mind that I was kind of not really expecting to like was probably Metal Gear Rising. I did not like the concept of them making a hack and slash game with Raiden. But once I actually started playing it, I really did enjoy it, and I would hope that they would do a second one. I don't think they will at this point. But in terms of story, which I think is its weakest element, to me, I view Metal Gear Rising as like a what if the story continued. As far as I'm concerned, it ended with Metal Gear Solid 4, so this acts as a good what if scenario, but I had a blast playing that game. Next question comes from Michael Beeland, and you want to know, have I ever watched an episode of the TV series Game of Thrones? If so, who is my favorite character? I think I've seen only one episode, like, several years ago. I still don't understand what the big deal about this show is. To me, Game of Thrones looks like what Lord of the Rings would be if it was on a very tight budget and it was just a glorified soap opera. And I've had enough feel when it comes to soap operas. I spent several years as a teenager watching a soap opera with my mom called General Hospital. So I've had enough of soap operas. So yeah, I'm not really interested in Game of Thrones. I've seen only one episode and I was just not interested in it at all. And I still don't. I mean, when something big happens, I just look around at people who are fans and I'm like, is this a big deal? Should I care about this? I mean, I don't care about these characters. I mean, when the whole Jon Snow getting killed part happened at the end of the last season, I was just looking around. I was like, is this bad? I mean, why is he just standing there like an idiot getting stabbed? Fight back. I don't care if you're surrounded by 6 other guys. Go after him. And it seems like these dragons that are such a big deal haven't done jack shit this entire time, so I don't understand what's so popular about this show, but this just does not appeal to me in any way. So if you enjoy Game of Thrones, that's cool, but this is certainly not a show that I will be watching anytime soon. Next question comes from Mr. Wong, and you want to know, what are my thoughts on the PlayStation VR, and am I going to eventually buy one? No, I'm not going to buy a PlayStation VR. Will I give it a try? Absolutely. I have plans on going someplace very soon to actually test it out for the first time. But in terms of actually buying one, no. I've seen what it can do. I've not experienced what it can do, but just from people I know, I see what its capabilities are, and as a gaming device, it just doesn't seem like something I would really be interested in. I don't like the concept of being just completely blinded with earphones on, just being submerged in this world. I don't really need that to enjoy my games. I kind of like having that barrier in front of me with the television screen. That's always worked for me. And the last question of the episode comes from Brandon Williams, and you want to know, can I do a best to worst Assassin's Creed video, and what are my thoughts on Connor Kenway as a character? Oh. Well, the trouble about doing a best to worst for Assassin's Creed game is I've not played all of them. I have not really, I didn't really play the first one. I mean, I played it for like 5 minutes and I got bored of it. I've beaten 2 Brotherhood. I couldn't complete Revelations. I couldn't complete Assassin's Creed 3. I absolutely loved Assassin's Creed 4. I couldn't finish Rogue. And I think 2 more came after that. And I think there was one on PlayStation Vita or PSP. I can't remember. So there's at least 5 Assassin's Creed games I haven't even played and I don't want to play. So I don't think I like the franchise enough to do a video like that. I mean, if I could just do it off of the games I have played, I would absolutely rank it in this way. Number 1 is obviously going to be Black Flag, followed by Brotherhood, then 2, then I guess half of Rogue, since that's as far as I got, and then I would maybe put Assassin's Creed Revelations, and then I would follow that up with 3, but yeah, I've not played all of them. In terms of what I thought of Connor Kenway, I didn't really like him all that much. He seemed like, I mean, despite the fact that he's a half-breed, he's mixed, he just seemed a bit whiny. It just whiny. He had some serious daddy issues. I mean, I was getting some really serious Luke Skywalker bad vibes from him, and I just didn't really like that. I didn't really like him that much as a character. So, yeah. Wait a minute. I'm getting confused. Is Connor Kenway the... Wait a second. Okay, you're getting me confused. I'm trying to think. Wait a second. I can't remember who the guy was from Black Flag. That sounds like that was Connor, or was Connor in 3. The guy from Black Flag, I thought he was pretty awesome. I didn't like the guy from 3. But for some reason, I think that's Connor Kenway, but it sounds like that belongs in 4. So, yeah, if I'm getting the names wrong, I'm sorry. It's been so many years since I played the 4th one, but that is my favorite. But, yeah, there's just my initial thoughts on the character. If that's the guy from 4, I think he's pretty awesome as a character. If it's the guy from 3, I think he's just a total jackass. And with that, those are all the questions that you guys sent in for this episode. I'd like to thank you guys for sending them in. If you guys have any more questions you'd like me to answer in next week's episode, be sure to type them in the comments down below. But make sure you send them in to me before next Wednesday, before I start filming this episode. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I will see you next time.